Yay, I did it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live. I was so nervous it wasn't going to work. Yes, whew, okay, so welcome to today's live. My name is Colleen. I'm an animal communicator, tarot reader, tarot teacher, cat collector, rock collector, and all sorts of things. Elizabeth and Ange are already online. Thank you very much. I had no idea you could actually join the chat before the live, so that was quite cool. It's my first time using StreamYard to host a live, so I was a little bit nervous with the timing and stuff. It seems to have worked, so you can all hear me and see me all right, can't you? So when I find I've been talking to myself for the last 30 seconds. Okay, no, I think we're all okay. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I even painted my nails. Thank you, Ange. Yeah, I normally use OBS to stream, but I've not used StreamYard before, and I really like the interface. The only problem is that I wanted to use 2 cameras today, which you can't do on the free version of StreamYard, but I have a workaround. So we'll see if that works. We'll see if that works. Okay, so we are going to be working with your tarot card of the year. I know you guys are already familiar with tarot, so you know how to work out your tarot card for the year. But for those who don't know and might be watching later, I'm just quickly going to explain very briefly how to work out your tarot card of the year. And the point in doing this is that every year we have another tarot card assigned to us. It's worked out using your date of birth and the current year. And it's just something to kind of focus on for the year. It might be something that you need to aspire to, need to work towards. It might be something that you need to slacken off a little bit or stop doing. But you have to see how it resonates with you. And I find that this exercise gives you a much broader view of the meaning of that card, rather than just pulling a card and saying, well, that's the meaning of the card. I feel kind of meh about them both. So this year is 2025. So what you do to work out your tarot card of the year is you add the digits of your day and month of birth to the current year. So you just add up all the numbers. You can do it in a variety of different ways. Elizabeth and I have different ways of working them out, but thankfully they always work out to the same. So 2025 is 2025. So you add the 2 plus the 2, which is 4, plus the 5, which is 9. So we're currently in a 9 year, and Elizabeth has done a video just recently about the 9 year, which is associated with the Hermit card. So that we've got 9, and then you take your day and your month of birth. So my day is the 18th, my month is February, which is 2. 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 plus 9 is 29. And there are only, well, they're not 29 majors in the deck, so you add the 2 and the 9 together and you get 11. And 11 is the Justice card. Now, I need to mention that in some decks, card 11 is the Strength card. So just for those of you who don't know, originally, back in the good old days when tarot was still a card game, Justice was the 8th card and Strength was the 11th card. But when Mr. Waite, who we all owe our Rider-Waite decks credit to, and Pamela Coleman-Smith, when he created the decks, he swapped the 2 cards round because it made better sense if you work with astrology. So the Strength card is associated with Leo, and that needed to be card 8. And the Justice card is associated with Libra, and that had to be card 11. So it's swapped. So in some decks, you'll have the Justice card, which is card number 8. and the other way around. But we're just going to go with 11 because that's how it is today. That's how it is today. Okay. Oh yeah, it could also be High Priestess. Yeah, I think when you work this out, it has to be the first number that you come to that applies to a major card. So I think when I've done the tarot profile course, which was great fun, when you're working out your soul card and your personality card and all of those things, I think we work with both of those cards' energies, and actually they seemingly quite opposite. Yeah, but yeah, the High Priestess is always a good card to have on your side. Okay, so do you two know? Well, obviously you do. You've worked out your cards. What are your well, let me just, I think I can show your comment, can't I, Ange? Yay! I love that. That feature is really cool. That feature is really cool. So what are your two cards? I'm sure you've already worked out your two cards. Let's wait and see if okay, so Elizabeth's going to go with star. Okay. That's a lovely card to have. Lovely card. What's your card, Ange? Sun card. 3 personal cards. Okie dokie. Okay, so you guys are going to have massive mind maps. Yeah. Yeah. That they work fabulously together. Okay, so the reason I use a mind map is I've actually got the guy's book. So if you're not familiar with mind maps, it's a concept that was coined by a guy called Tony Buzan. And I've read all of his books. They're fabulous. They're just about how to use your brain in this creative way and how our brains can't really, well, they're not as good as absorbing information linearly as they are when it's in a diagram. And this particular diagram, he goes on to explain, is how the brain works. It works on having a central concept. Let me just put the book down. A central concept with lots of kind of sub-concepts coming off that central concept. And you find when you write something down like that and you use this particular tool, it's so much easier to remember it. I used to use it for studying when I was at school. And, I use it now in my journal. I use it when I taught tarot. I use it for myself with tarot. And it's just a really, really easy but effective tool of seeing something or a load of information at a glance. So this is one of his books. He has many books out. But here's an example of one of his mind maps. Now, he obviously makes his really colorful in the book. So he has the central concept, and you have sort of these subcategories coming off. And then within those subcategories, you have subcategories. And your brain remembers it because this is how your brain works. This is how it remembers data. So I remember when we used to do journaling, Elizabeth, remember, and I used to do the mind maps then. They are a fantastic tool. So I use them for all sorts of things. I've used them for my January goals, for my 2025 goals. I have a double page spread in my journal. So what I did, I'm going to change cameras shortly, but just to show you. So this is the strength mind map that I did a few years ago, and how I use it for doing a tarot card of the year is I have the name of the card in the middle, and then I jot some notes, whatever you fancy jotting, And then I dig out a random collection of tarot decks, and I find that card in that deck, and I jot down keywords from that particular deck. Now, it has to be a random collection, so don't choose all your favorite decks. don't choose your favorite decks, Elizabeth. I'm watching you. It needs to be as varied as possible, because you want to make this as exciting and as varied as possible. I don't want you to have all the same meanings that you associate with the Justice card, with your card on that piece of paper. It needs to be varied, because when you've finished, you're going to have similar concepts but expressed in different ways, and it's going to widen the idea of that card and the message it needs to bring. And it might be that, you know, during this month you look and you go, oh yes, those words kind of resonate for me, but those don't. And in 3 months' time, the ones that didn't all of a sudden have a different meaning. It takes on a different meaning. And not only do you then develop a deeper understanding of the card, so it's a really good tool for also learning tarot, but also as you go throughout the year, your perceptions of that card change, and your perceptions of those keywords change. And it's a really cool way of doing it. Okay, so, oh, Elizabeth's, how did you do that, Elizabeth? Oh, you've actually written it out. I thought you'd put a link or something. I'm like, bloody hell, how does she know how to do that? Fab. Yes, it is an excellent way to learn the cards. And I mean, you know, if we all had loads of time, 78 weeks, maybe you could dedicate 1 week to just populating, you know, one card and just going crazy with all the different meanings. So, all right. So I've gone through my drawer, because I've packed my decks used to be all out on a shelf, but they packed away in a drawer now for various reasons. So I've picked some random decks. I haven't actually bought a tarot deck in years, so these are probably all very old decks. Okay, so we're going to start off with, this isn't a deck, this is a book, but this kind of has like the standard Justice card meaning. So I thought we'd kind of start with that. And what I'm going to do is I'll change the camera to focus on what I'm drawing, but I'm going to go through each of the books and write so you can see what I'm writing. Okay, so we're going to start with that for basic. We have to have the Spacious Tarot, of course. You see I've got the card in on the page. So Spacious Tarot is by Carrie Mellon and Annie Rigged. Taramuka, one of my absolute favorite decks. Absolute favorite. It's all based on the artwork of Alfonso Mucha. Lightseers, because you've got to have Lightseers, by 𝐿_𝐮𝐬. The Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. The Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Tarot Illuminati, crazy deck. This deck is insane. All of the cards look like someone's been on acid. Kim Huggins and artwork by Eric C. Dunn. Animal Wisdom Tarot. A bit of an animal theme happening here, as you can see. This is by Dawn Brunk. She's actually written, I've got a book of hers as well. Illustrated by Ola Leola. Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake and artwork by Elizabeth Elba. Bit of an animal theme, Animal Totem Tarot by Lisa Robertson and illustrated by Eugene Smith. I thought it was good to throw some animals in there. And the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. So let's get rid of that one. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to try the big scary thing. I am going to unplug this camera and I'm going to plug in my other camera. So I am going to go offline for about 10 seconds as I plug the other one in. This is because I don't have the paid version of StreamYard. So I'm just attaching this to my desk. I did try this yesterday, so we'll see if it works this time around. So what I plan to do is turn off the camera I've got in front of me and turn this one on so that you can see what I'm drawing. Right. Fingers crossed, people, fingers crossed. Do you reckon it's gonna work? If it doesn't work, I'll come back to the other one and we'll have to come up with another plan. Whew, okay. Ready? See you soon. Okay. There we go. Oh, I think I just need to swap it round, don't I? It looks like it's there we go. Okay, can you all see? Can you all see? Yay, you did it. I was panicking a bit because I couldn't get the camera to work and then I realized I hadn't turned it on. Yes, Elizabeth, did you spot it? Doesn't it look fancy? Look how it flickers with its pretty lights. So a few years ago, I was raving to my husband about Elizabeth's multicolored keyboard, and I was so excited. And so I love anything that's colorful and pretty. And he contacted her without me knowing, and he he ordered this keyboard. And the mouse, I don't know if you can see the mouse is also colored. Okie dokie. So let us begin. So first we're going to write in the middle. Oops, put the pen the right way around, Colleen. Now, obviously, if you're doing this at home, you can use colored pens, you can use stickers. I would ideally like to do that, but you know, we'll be here all day if that's the case, because I can play with colored paper and pen for hours on end. Okay, so first we're going to start with this beauty here. The book, that is, not the lady, because she looks a bit stern. This is a book that I bought from Marcus Katz. That's right. They bought out this book. They bought out 3 books. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Okay, so here we have Justice. Okay, so I'm not going to read through everything because again we'll be here all day. But this is interesting here because it talks to you as if Justice was talking to you. So I'll read that out. I'm the reminder that you get what you give. Keep an open mind and be fair in all situations. Consider others when you make choices and judgments. Look to me for answers. I shall reveal them to you. Oh, I just went all high priestessy there. I represent your effort, your life's work, and your moral center. Now, I know Ange said earlier on about a high priestess, and it actually is interesting, the similar layout, isn't it? You've got the 2 pillars and the veil, which is interesting. Also worth mentioning, in America, a lot of the law courts have Lady Justice as a massive statue that sits above the entrance. And quite often, so she has the sword and the scales. And quite often she has a blindfold on. And it always reminds me of, do you know that that program, The Voice, where they have the judges that listen to people come and audition and sing, but they don't see the person. They've got their backs to the person and they listen to the person first before they can vote and say whether they like that person singing. And it's a similar thing here with Lady Justice. If she has the blindfold on, she's not being swayed in her verdicts. She's basing her judgment, if you like, purely on fact. She's not looking at the person, the gender, the color, the circumstance, what's going on. She can't see it. She's just basing her decision on fact. And that's really good to remember with the Justice card. Okay, so Elizabeth's using 78 Degrees of Wisdom. That's a great book. I have a very old version of that. It's a great book. And she says, tarot cards all break down into one another numerically. That's why I always break them down to take them all into account. Yes, absolutely. And they all relate to each other. Da, da, da. Okay. All right. So I'll just leave this here because that's kind of like the Rider-Waite Justice card, isn't it? This is from the Radiant Rider-Waite. So let's have a look what... I know there's never really anything useful in these little books. Equity, rightness, probity, executive. I mean, really? What does that even mean? Okay, so I've got to include Rider-Waite because I'm respectful like that. So here I'm going to put Rider-Waite. Executive. What does that even mean? Executive. That means nothing. What a stupid guidebook. Right, equity and rightness I'm going to go for. Okay. Right, Rider-Waite done. Oh, sorry, I just banged the camera. Okay, so let's look at Spacious Tarot. That's all fresh in our minds from a live I did with Elizabeth recently. So let's put, that should have been in capital letters, shouldn't it? Because it's a title. Spacious Tarot. Now, yes, and yes, Ange. they just right. So this is a fabulous image actually because of the ripples, and it's that, you know, the word cause and effect always comes up with justice, doesn't it? When you do something, the knock-on effect ripples outwards to everything around you. In fact, there was just an affirmations meditation that I was doing this morning that said about, if you think about that, if you're positive and you radiate that positive energy out, you have that ripple effect. But instead of bad things, you're rippling out that, you know, the good things. And I was like, oh, what a lovely thought. Justice, integrity, cause and effect. There we go. Your action has an impact. So I like that. You see, action has an impact. Action has an impact. And I'm going to put here positive and negative. Just having a quick squiz to see if there's anything. Few things are entirely right or wrong. This card creates a space for you to experience nuance. Heed the words of Gandhi and be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world. That is lovely. Not a phrase that I would have very readily associated with the Justice card. No, I'm only tracking upright. I'm only tracking upright. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading through the comments. So Elizabeth says, I rehomed my Radiant, my mini weight, and my Carol Hertz don't have a little white book. Yeah, like Ange says, you didn't miss anything. The little white books are a tree died for that. A tree died for that. I think, Elizabeth, with regards to this question here, you know how I feel about, reversed cards, right? So I believe that those two words, even though they sound like they're good words, they could have a negative meaning in different situations. So I think I'm just going to go with that. Okay, so I'll put justice because, well, it is the Justice card, and cause and effect. Right, Angie said something. Ripples and justice is how I see this card too. Yeah. Okay. What does living with integrity look like right now? How can you be the type of person you want to be? Know that as you take responsibility for your energy, you cast out a ripple that inspire others to do the same. So take responsibility for your energy, people. Okie dokie. Okay, so we pop that one to one side. What should we do next? Let's do an animal one. Animal Totem Tarot. Now, when Elizabeth and I spoke recently, we had a similar outlook about some of the animal decks. My primary function, for lack of a better word, is I'm an animal communicator, and I'm very, very drawn to animal decks. However, the issue comes with having animals here, that's not even an animal, that are animals that you're not familiar with. So, for instance, she says trying to find an animal she's not familiar with. Oh, God, dead pigeon. What is that? A whip poor will. I don't. What is a whip poor will? So this is the problem Elizabeth and I were having, was like, when you get a deck, I want to see an animal and I want to instantly know what energy comes from that animal. When I created my own little animal deck, they were all animals that I was familiar with. So when I see a dog, I immediately think, well, loyalty, faithfulness. When I see a cat, I think independence. It's not, there's animals that I don't know anything about. If somebody said, oh, what would you associate with a whip poor will? I would go, well, I don't even know what that is. What sort of creature is a whip? Okay, now I know it's a bird, but I don't know what that, oh, that's a skunk. Yeah, I need to work on my animal identification skills. Anyway, you get the gist. So this is a crane. Now, I know what a crane is, but I wouldn't instinctively know immediately what energy I would associate with a crane. So some animal decks are quite tricky. I'm just about to do a series of reviews on animal decks on my YouTube channel, so we can go through some of these and I explain which ones are easier to work with and why. But anyway, this is just such a fabulous book though, and it's written, there's a bit from the actual animal, and then it tells you a little bit about the animal and why she's chosen it for that card, and then each, how you would read that card in each area, and even some journal prompts. So it's a really fabulous book. So here we have the crane. No scales, no sword, although he's got his beak. Oh, Elizabeth says cranes hang out in front of my window. Oh, so you see you've got justice hanging out in front of your window. Okay, so let's see what Crane says. Crane says balance is not just about being even. Balance is about finding the middle path. I like that. Or making it back to one's center. Now that really resonates because I don't know if you know, my word for the year is realignment. So making it back to one's center. Oh, that's lovely. In order to find true balance, one must make sure that one's center is not corrupt or contaminated by the ego. Because we can't do what we need to do when we get corrupted by the ego, right? We can't read tarot cards. We can't communicate with animals. We can't speak to dead spirits. Dead spirits? Dead people. Dead spirits? Spirits. For if it is, justice will be impossible to find. With my beak, I can pluck out the unwanted toxins from your emotional waters so you can clear the path back to the middle, back to center. Balanced, complete, and whole once again. I actually love that. I would never have kind of got that just from knowing the crane, though. So that's why this exercise is so good. So let's do Animal Totem Tarot. And I like that sentence, making it back to one's center. Finding the middle path. Yeah, so making it back to one's center. Let's go a little bit off there. You're supposed to keep everything on the line, but I often go underneath the line. So making it back to one's center. Love that. Okay, I'm not going to read through all of that, but if I just pick some bits. Crane is able to ground emotions and take the sting out of them, leaving nothing behind but mindful action. And in order for justice to be served for you, your emotions will also need to be calmed. Now that's particularly poignant for me, certainly. Elizabeth Lisa Robinson. Oh, sorry, I keep knocking the camera. So it's the Animal Totem Tarot. Oops, there we go. It's a really chunky book. So I like that. Your emotions will also need to be calmed so you can see that there is a way to have a solution for the good of all and harm to none. Also says here, justice could very well be called the card of resolution. I like that, resolution. Oh, I didn't know that. The Mermaid Tarot. Is it the same illustrator or? Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I just need another keyword because it's a bit sparse for Animal Totem. Let's do health and well-being. As you heal, you do a lot of shedding. This process is often referred to as peeling the onion. Oh my God, that makes me think of Shrek. As this happens, one's emotions can become unbalanced and erratic. Crane can assist you in grounding these emotions and bring you back to center. All you have to do is to be willing to let the feelings go and allow him to place them deep into the earth. Bringing you back to center once your emotions have run high. That's very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have actually associated any of those things with a crane, but still, that's good. That's good to know. So that's the Animal Totem Tarot. Illustrator Julia Dillon. Oh, okay, I don't know her. Oh, well, interesting. I mean, the book is fabulous. So, you know, as far as an author goes, she's really good for that. So, okie dokes. Right, what should we have next? Let's have Everyday Witch Tarot. Such a sweet deck this is. Okay, so here we have a very sort of Rider-Waite-ish image. Here she is blindfolded. Well, kind of. There's a little bit peeking out there, a little bit peeking out. She's got a book of law. She's got her scales, and you see there's a black cat and a white cat. Fabulous little card. Okay, so let's just write here, Everyday Witch Tarot. Everyday Witch Tarot. Yes, Elizabeth. They took up so much space on my shelf, and that's also why I can't. You know, some of them I'd like to sell, but if I'm going to sell them, I want to sell them in the box with the book and the deck. But geez, those things are so freaking expensive to post all over the world. So they sit in my drawer. They sit in my drawer. Okay, so lovely phrase here. What goes around comes around. Love that. I'm going to keep knocking the camera. I'm so sorry. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. That's very much like the whole kind of cause and effect that we had up here with the spacious. Okay, so here it says, sooner or later the universe balances itself out, but maybe not the way you expected. So I won't read the whole thing again. So that's just explaining what the card is. The feeling of the card is serious, but with a hint of amusement. That karma, she sure can be a bitch. Let's put karma here, because actually that's quite a nice way of looking at the card as well, karma. People say that Justice is blind. That just means they've never met her. She sees everything, even when it seems she isn't looking. There's no hiding the truth. That's also quite, I like that. There's no hiding the truth. Okay, so Justice, if things aren't going well, Justice suggests looking at where your responsibility in the situation lies. Justice watches everyone, and sooner or later, she makes sure the scales balance out. The idea of karma is simple. You reap what you sow. Life, of course, really works out exactly that way, but sooner or later, things tend to come back around. I think it's just this page, is it? No. Justice card stands for legal justice on occasion, but just as often, whoopsie, camera's lost its focus. Come back to me. But just as often, it signifies fairness, truth, and balance. I like fairness. And truth. If you're asking for justice, be sure that it is what you want. The universe doesn't play favorites or take sides. So that's also a good one. So we've got karma, what goes around comes around, fairness and truth. Yep. Yep, it's a great one. You reap what you sow. And that, again, when you think about the spacious tarot, that's exactly it, isn't it? You know, that little ball in the middle, where are we? Here's you. Sowing, 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 sowing. Boom. And of course, you get affected by that. So you reap what you sow. Absolutely. So Elizabeth, going through the forest of enchantment. You know, I've been so curious about that deck for ages, Elizabeth. And I haven't bought a deck for a long time. Although every time I watch your YouTube videos, I'm always like, oh, I need to add that to my list. No, stop it, stop it. You don't need that. You've got enough decks. But let's face it, you can never really have enough decks. You can never really have enough decks. Right, let's do light seers. Good old light seers. I do love the artwork in this deck, except for the tower card, because that's shit. Anyway, so Justice. Now, I love this card because how freaky. So here the eyes are closed, here the eyes are open. I love that. There's some lovely touches in this deck. I think she really did a great job, except for the tower card. Justice. Oh, wait, let's do the thing. Let's do the thing. I'm going a bit skew here. Light seers. Okay, so natural law, balance, karma. So karma comes through quite often. Truth, yeah, wisdom, legal matters, fairness, cause and effect, integrity, objectivity. I like that actually. Objectivity is nice because I like that. I just like it. Objectivity. Perspective. Perspective. Accountability. Justice asks you to learn from your past experiences, the good, the bad, and the fugly. Take it all and grow from it. Fairness and honesty highlights clarity of motivation and intention. Asks you to be realistic about the cause and effect of your thoughts and actions. So my good karma is delightfully loving, and it can be the most motivating of teachers. If fear is causing you to act in a way that you aren't proud of, seek a variety of perspectives before judging another person's actions to be good or bad. The only true path ahead of you is not the one that is necessarily black or white, but it is always, always one of love. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to go... yeah, fugly. I love that. It's a great word, isn't it? Fugly. Right, what else should I put here? Let's see. Natural law, balance. I will put balance because I know that's going to come up a lot with this card, and I've got to put it sooner or later. We've put karma already, haven't we? Truth, wisdom, fairness. We've got cause and effect, integrity. We haven't got integrity. Let's put integrity because actually that's quite a good one. Integrity. Righty-ho. So there you have Justice card. Really is a clever way of... Right, what's next? Should we do another animal deck? Let's do the Animal Wisdom Tarot. Such a lovely, lovely little deck, this. The court cards. Oh no, I went into the central circle. The world's going to explode. The court cards are called different things in this deck. It's so lovely. We've got pages are seers, the knights are seekers, nurturers are the nurturers are the queens, kings are guardians. Very sweet little deck. Some of the pictures are beautiful. Are you ready for this beautiful Justice card? What animals are going to be? Have a guess on what animal, and it's not a crane. What animal is going to be for the Justice card? Oh, if you guys were designing a deck, what animal would you use for the Justice card? Oh, God, lucky thing. I'm just going to have a sip of my water while you tell me. What animal would you use for the Justice card? Ant. Why an ant, Elizabeth? Why an ant? Oh no, I think I just showed it. Oh no, you've probably seen it now. Your intuition said so. Oh, wrong one. Well, now you've got to think about it. Now you've got to ponder. Because if your intuition said so, you've got to ponder now. Yeah, it's an interesting. In fact, I think in the animal totem tarot there is an ant. I think it's the Eight of Pentacles is the ant. Yeah, interesting, Elizabeth. Yeah, you're gonna have to think about that. Maybe the ant is calling to you. Maybe the ant is calling to you. Okay, and have you heard of Myro website? Oh no, I haven't heard of that. Oh, okay, I'll check it out. Let me just make a note over here. Hang on. Myro. Oh, I see. I'm going to lose hours of my life to that now. But thank you, Ange. Okay, so in this deck, she has used the elephant. How lovely is this card? The bearer of justice. So, myro.com, yeah. I shall definitely check it out. So, bearer of justice. So, she does call the cards different things. You can see here, the Wheel of Fortune is called the Sacred Spinner. But she does say what the traditional card is so that you can that you can trace it back. So it's, I mean, it's such a lovely card. So balance, truth, honor, and integrity. I think we've got all of those. We don't have honor, but honor and integrity go really well. So I've got integrity. So let's put honor. Trunk raised skyward, feet planted solidly on earth. Elephant represents balance, stability, sincerity, and justice. Wise, loyal, and compassionate, elephant hears the silent language of the heart and responds to life with deep inner knowing. Symbol of ancient wisdom, elephant removes obstacles that keep us from seeing our true selves and encourages us to discern truth by trusting our knowing. Card 11 signals a call to balance. Are you in the right relation with yourself and the world? Whatever is imbalanced will come to light. This could end. Whatever is imbalanced will come to light. I like that. That also ties in a bit with my realignment word of the year. I've lost it now. Where is it? Whatever is imbalanced. Whatever is imbalanced will come to light. Yeah, it's always interesting to look at how other people have chosen animals to represent that specific card's energy. Some of them, I mean, here you can almost see why she's chosen the spider for the wheel. You know, you can see it there. Elephant, I agree. You kind of have to think a bit about that. What animal? I mean, look how cute that card. Look how cute that moon card is. Sometimes you really have to think about it. And, you know, if you were designing a deck, really, what card would you associate with balance? What? Oh. Page of Cups, Elizabeth. Look. Page of Cups. What animal would you choose? What animal represents cause and effect, rightness, honor, balance, karma, fairness, truth? What animal represents that? It's really, it's interesting. Yeah, everybody interprets it differently. Okay, so balanced. In the middle of the major arcana, the bearer of justice shifts us from the physical concerns to a metaphysical outlook. Trusting our essential goodness, we do what is right and a true reflection of ourselves. Loving and straightforward. Elephant advocates alignment between personal and sacred justice, nudging us into greater balance with ourselves and with the cosmos. Play fair, love true, live in harmony. None of those resonate for me with justice. None of those cards. Play fair at a push. I don't know. What do you guys think? Play fair at a push. Love true. Justice? In harmony? Maybe. Maybe in harmony. Yeah, okay, maybe. Maybe. What do you think? What do you think? Now, quite often, I'll talk more about this when I talk about my animal decks, but you know, quite often I don't use the card as a tarot card. If I'm doing a reading with animal decks, I wouldn't take that into account. I would take into what message I'm getting intuitively from that picture and what I feel about elephants. Now I had to look and see which side it was. I don't know if you can actually see it. That is, obviously that's an Om sign up there. But this here is representing an elephant's trunk, and that's an elephant's eye. And I had that tattoo done when I was in Thailand, after the Hindu god Ganesha. Not because I worship Ganesha or I follow the Hindu tradition, but because Ganesha is known as the remover of obstacles. And it resonated so strongly with me because I feel like throughout my life, I have been faced with obstacles, and yet I've managed to go through them, go around them, go under them. And it resonated with that. So that is how I would interpret an elephant. But that's just my personal opinion. So that's why these animal decks, they're a bit, depending on how you read them, everyone's going to view them differently. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Right, Elizabeth says, I'm looking at my, is that K or Kai? K, Tarot Love, and for justice, it says, I see both sides. I love that. Oh, can I put that on my list, Elizabeth? I see both sides, because actually that's, so let's do, is it actually called K Tarot Love? That's the full deck name, is it? So I see both, sides. There we go. Okay, super. Thank you. Okay, went off on a tangent. Right, let's do Tarot Maka. Beautiful, beautiful images in Tarot Maka. They are staunchly Rider-Waite, but just done in this beautiful style. I love the artwork. It was so funny when I moved in with my now husband, when I moved in with him when we were still living in the UK, he had all these beautiful pictures framed in the living room. And I later discovered that they were all Alfonso Maka paintings that he'd got, like, I think from a calendar or something, and they all like this. And it was just so funny because I had this deck. It was like, oh, it's a sign. Okay, so Taramaka. It is Elizabeth. It's a beautiful deck. It really is. It's one of my favorites. It's always been one of my favorites. I used to use it for love readings. Okay, so measuring all human deeds upon her golden scales, justice restores balance by eliminating what is not needed. Oh, eliminating what is not needed. I like that. I know it's, yeah, just bear with me, because that's resonating again with my word of the year. Eliminating what is not needed. Okie dokie. Acts of injustice. Do you think that you can avoid her gaze? She sees through any veil of self-deception in which you have swathed yourself. There is no need to fear her influence if your conscience is clear. What have you set into motion that will come to its conclusion following the laws of the universe? If circumstances are not as you would have them be, learn the lesson now and be on the right side of justice next time. The sword is yours to wield when your heart is pure and your motives are true. So here, karma, again, the consequences of your deeds. I like that as well. I know it's more or less the same as cause and effect, but let's just put that. So consequences. Consequences of your deeds. Putting things back into balance. I think that's the most common one. That's the phrase I used to get instantly when I spoke about justice. It was always putting things back into balance. But as we can see, there's a lot more to it than that. Taramaka, righty-ho, the crazy tarot Illuminati. I mean, these cards, I'll just show you some of the cards because they're just insane. Let me show you some of the pentacles are smaller. I haven't looked at this deck for ages. No, it's hard to see with the smaller cards, but they're very, I don't know. It looks like they've been patched together. I was fascinated, and I mean, busy. They're so busy. There's so much going on in this card that you have to actually look to find where one creature ends. And, you know, like what's happening in the front here is that there's definitely a horse. Is there a horse there? It's like, okay, you can just about see the face there. I can see the nose. But what's happening in the front here? Where are these legs? Who do these legs belong to? What's going on? It's like an AI image gone wrong. It looks like an AI image gone wrong. Anyway, let's go back to justice. So here is the justice card. Let's put here Tarot Illuminati. Let's see what this one says. For every action, there is a reaction. Also like that as well. For every cause, there is an effect. That one comes through a lot. I stand at the very center of all consequences, the still yet dynamic process by which the balance of the universe is maintained. I am the fulcrum, the tiptoe stand at the center. Some say I am blind, but I see all. I do not judge, nor do I give value to one thing over another. I simply calculate, for the universe is one big, great calculation. Know the formula and you will see how things give way to another. The creation of something will always require displacement of another. and the subtle balance of your world depends upon nature. Right, I said I wasn't going to read all of it to you, but I clearly was doing that. To pass through the veil that I guard, you must first understand that you too stand at the fulcrum of the cosmic balancing act, and that you are a part of the web of cause and effect, action and reaction, tied to every living being upon the earth. This web cannot be broken, and knowing this, you might yet find your heart weighs in the balance of a feather in my scales and pass through the veil. Da, da, da. Okay, Tarot Illuminati, we've got balance. We've got balance already, so I won't put balance again. Adjustment. Weighing things up. Weighing things up. Now that sounds simple, but in order to do a lot of these things here, we have to weigh things up. It's a great way of explaining, isn't it? Cosmic balancing act. I think it's fabulous. Elizabeth says Ember and Aura uses obligation as a keyword for justice. Obligation. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that, Elizabeth. How do you feel about that? Obligation. Obligation. I don't know. That's not resonating with me, because obligation means like you're tied to do something. Whereas these things, you aren't tied to do them. It's just saying, if you do this, then that will happen. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think? How do you guys feel about that word obligation? Yeah, that's a, but again, you see, everybody sees the cards differently. Yeah, interesting. It's not doing it for me. It don't turn me on. It don't turn me on. Weighing things up. Where was I? Being at the fulcrum of balancing act. Equilibrium. Maintaining the center. Now I like that, maintaining the center, because that goes a little bit deeper for me than the word balance. Maintaining the center. I like that. That's, for some reason, that's really resonating for me. I guess you're obligated to stand in the middle so that you can maintain the center. Yeah. So that's your justice card. Let me just quickly have a look. Oh, lordy. I just want to look at the death card and the devil card, because I always do. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh, it's a fucking goat. Oh, I am so not good with goats in devil cards. It's my Catholic upbringing. Jeez. What was the other one I was looking for? Death card. You see what I mean about the images? There's a lot going on, but you have to it's like, oh, there's the boat. Okay, I get it, and then, oh, that's a person. Yes, of course he's on. It's like it's not very clear. I don't know, it's yeah. I do not like goats in devil cards. I do not like goats. Okay, 3 more. Gosh, sorry, I wasn't expecting this to take so long. So let's do Spirit Within Tarot next. Let's do that here. Stephen Bright was one of the very first people on Instagram that I started following when I started doing tarot in 2014. It's been 10 years. And I just liked the way he spoke about the cards and tarot reading in general. And I had the pleasure of meeting him in London quite a few times. My husband and I used to go down and meet him and his partner. It's super, super, super guy. And yeah, so I was really glad when he brought out his deck. It's fabulous. It's all silhouettes. So you're not swayed by color of people's skin, expressions, etc. And he wanted to focus on the meaning of the card rather than gleaning information from the person's expression, which is a clever way of looking at it. So Elizabeth, are you talking about this one or the Tarot Illuminati? Oops, my pile of books just fell over. I think you're talking about Spirit Within, right? Okay, I'll leave that up. I'll wait for you to answer. Okay, so right, so the way Stephen does. Okay, yeah. So it's this deck, yeah. He's a really lovely guy. Okay, so the way he does it is the card talks to you. He describes the card briefly and then talks about the meaning, and then there's keywords at the end. Oh, I don't know why I'm pointing to Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God, I nearly read that one out. I was going to go cycles. Oh, that's an interesting keyword for the Justice card. Okay, so let's pop that up there. Right, so Justice, I am the one who will reward or punish you for the seeds you have sown, whether you still remember them or not. Oh my God, how spooky is that? Whether you still remember them or not. That reminds me of karma. Karma, don't forget. She don't forget. On a rock by the sea, a man holds a sword confidently, highlighting the truth in every situation. A set of scales dangles from his left hand, representing a fair and balanced decision. It is justice who not only witnesses those things we say and do, but who punishes and rewards us for them. While favorable in legal situations, this card reminds you that justice will prevail in all of our dealings. Justice will prevail. Reminding us to consider what we say and do in the present, it suggests that every action, oh, I think it should, every action will have an eventual outcome. So again, there's that cause and effect. What goes around comes around. So fairness, balance, karma, and the truth. I think I've got all of those keywords already, but just so we can have some, let's put fairness and the truth. The truth. Whether you still remember them or not. Ah, yes, the damage that has been done that some so easily forget and move on from, while the others left to pick up the pieces and deal with the pain. Oh, yes, Ange. And next time that happens to us, we can smile and go, haha, karma is going to get you. Karma is going to get you. We've all been in this situation, haven't we? Yes. Gosh, my stomach just let out a huge rumble. I hope you didn't hear that. Okay, so that's Stephen Bright's. So just two more, ladies, just two more. You're hanging in there. Paulina Cassidy is Karma Chameleon. I'm going to be singing that all night now. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who used to sing that. Paulina Cassidy, yes, she is one of my favorite artists. I could do much like the 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐬𝐲 tarot, which I used to own, which now lives with Elizabeth. Beautiful deck, but I did not get on with the images because they needed to be A4 size. And this deck is not quite as detailed as 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐬𝐲. There's, you know, the artwork is very, very different. 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐬𝐲 is very fine writing and drawing. Sorry. And yeah, it's a beautiful deck. I have a few of her decks. I also have a is it the Fairy Guidance Oracle, I think? And oh my goodness, the cards are just beautiful. Little fairies, and they have a little blurb at the bottom. You know, it's just lovely. Lovely, lovely. So I think we've got crow, which makes me laugh because I think it is a crow, yes, because the collective noun for crows is a parliament, isn't it? A parliament of crows. And that's kind of, you know, law and, well, it's supposed to be. What am I doing? Spirit song. Yeah, and this deck, to be honest, it is a tarot deck. But you could use it as an oracle deck because it has the 2 keywords. You don't have to know anything about tarot to use it. So, crow. At the portal of shadow and light, the seen and unseen, crow holds the gifts of ancient wisdom and sacred law. I mean, I love that. Let's take. Oh, you got me thinking now. That's not very justice-like, is it, Ange? Parliament of crows. Oh, is it a parliament of owls? Oh, I don't know now, Ange. I'll have to get back to you. Oh, it is owls. Yes, it is owls. Oh, well. Damn it, it's alive. I can't even go back and edit that out now. Never mind. Thank you. Okay, so crow holds the gifts of ancient wisdom and sacred law. Her sharp perception illuminates the core of truth. She's able to discern what is fair, and she stands on guard to ensure that such fairness is fulfilled. As a bringer of clarity, crow will assist you towards spiritual self-awareness. Oh, spiritual self-awareness. That's actually true, Ange. Yes. In fact, owls would be a great animal for the justice card, wouldn't they? Balance is a continuous process on the road of adjustment. Weigh decisions carefully. Oh, I like that. Weigh decisions carefully so as to bring everything back into. Did I say weigh? Yeah, weighing things up. So weigh decisions carefully. You are the orchestrator of your life. Consider the results of all actions taken, as your actions and thoughts shape your future. Oh, fabulous. Owls are very special to you. My husband very lovingly calls them walls. And we have what we call walnuts here. We live out in the rural countryside in France. And every now and again, they'll just have a chat, and we're the only house for miles, so it's absolutely pitch dark at night and really quiet, and the animal life at night is amazing. And sometimes you can hear the owls, and they talk to each other. You know, this one over here, and then this one over here, and you'll hear woo 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 woo, and they'll have it. Oh, and it's fabulous. We go and we stand outside and we listen to them. It's absolutely beautiful. They're lovely creatures. We also have screech owls, which, yeah, don't make the traditional woo noise. They make a screech noise. But I had to learn what those. I had to learn what that sound was, because it's pretty scary if you don't know what it is. Have you ever found any owl pellets? Oh no, but I've not looked, so I don't know what they look like. The tiny bones that can be found are so cool. The owl calls are so soothing. Wow. I know we've got loads of animal bones around here. I collect animal bones because I used to read with animal bones as well. I collect a load of bones, and I know we have a lot of tiny little mouse skulls and little tiny mouse jaws. So yeah, I guess that's just from mice in the garden, though, not from the owls, though. Interesting. I love that. I love that you have a thing with owls. They are beautiful creatures. Yes, I have a growing collection, Elizabeth. In fact, a few years ago, I was at somebody's house, and I can't remember what I was doing, digging in the garden for some reason, and I found the most incredible bones. And when I did some research, it turned out that they were something like heron bones. They were long, like this, long. I've got them in my bone drawer. I have a bone drawer. Right. Owl pellets look like furry balls, and when you break them open, oh, that's interesting to know. Oh well, you know, that's my Monday sorted. Where are you off to, Colleen? I'm off to look for owl poo. That's fascinating. I didn't know that. Right. Well, now you all know what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay, where was I? So keywords: truth, clarity, balance. So we've got truth and clarity already, haven't we? Have I got clarity? Oh, I haven't got clarity. Oh, well, let's go for clarity. Because I guess clarity kind of hints at truth, really. Balance, thought, self-examination, adjustment, cause and effect, responsibility. Interesting responsibility here. Oh, God, Ange. Clearly, I don't know anything about these things. I was getting really excited because I was going poo hunting. I just said that out loud, didn't I? I did. Pellets are the undigested parts of owls' food. Oh, geez, I didn't know that. Are owls your spirit animal, Ange? Owls are your spirit animal. Do you have an owl animal guide? Yes. Yes. How lovely. How lovely. Let me just see if this has got an index. I would love to know what the owl is in this, but I'd have to go through the whole deck. I'm going to look up what the owl is. What a beautiful animal to have. What a beautiful animal to have. Oh, that's quite a combo, Ange. That's quite a combo. Oh, good for you. I love that owls are your spirit animal. That's a really beautiful animal to have as a spirit animal. I have a penguin. There's a long story to that. What was I going to say? Elizabeth, you said earlier on about obligation, and here's the word responsibility. So now I'm kind of feeling a little bit more. It's like we maybe have a personal obligation to do the right thing. We have a personal obligation to weigh up our actions, or we have a personal obligation and responsibility to understand that everything we do affects everything around us. Okay, I'm actually seeing that a little bit more now. The responsibility, yeah, it's a more personal thing, isn't it? See, it's taken us to talk about our poo, which isn't poo. It's the undigested parts of food, Colleen. Don't you learn anything? I've forgotten what I was going to write now. Oh, yes, responsibility. How am I going to fit it in this little space? Responsibility. There we go. Right. So, yes, so it's a personal responsibility to always be aware of our actions. Personal responsibility of, I'm trying to keep it short, of actions of behavior consequences. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that was a fabulous side discussion. I'm going to think of Ange every time I hear the owls now. I'll try and get a recording on my phone and send it to you. Okay, last one, ladies. Last one. You've stuck with me all this time. Thank you. I wasn't expecting to be here this long, but it's been great. It's been great having a natter. So let's put this one up here. I'm not going to fit that in. Everyday Enchantment Tarot. Creepy deck. Creepy deck. But, sorry, I guess you can't see me. What I'm doing here with my right hand is I'm actually pointing to the screen at Elizabeth's comment. Calm response without emotions. I love that. That's so not me. Okay, so let's put that down here on my list, Elizabeth, because I like that. And we're going to say scary skeleton deck. Elizabeth, I take it back. I take it back. What is your skeleton deck called? Wandering Spirit. Okay, so calm response without emotions. Calm response. Without emotions. That is something I have to learn. Okay, I do like that. I do like that. So Everyday Enchantment Tarot. I use this deck a lot for teaching because it has everyday images that explain the card meanings. Yeah, I was like thinking, how do I broach this now? It was a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? I think Poppy Palin took her life. But the deck is a beautiful deck. The cards are massive. Let's just show you in comparison. Cards are huge, but it's a really great deck. And the book is really fabulous. It's quite a big book. It's all post-it noted, beautifully laid out. The keywords, it's even got the astrological and elemental correspondences, explains about the image, and then it tells you a story. So the person in the story tells you about what's happening in the card. So this lady is a lawyer and she's on her way to work and she's had to stop because these two gents have had a car accident. You can see in the background here, they've had a car accident and she's there to try and help sort things out. And look at her two hands. She's doing this. I love that. And if you look really close, she's got a Libra necklace. Yeah, so she explains about how she's having to calm them down so that they can think clearly, so that they can do what they need to do. There's insurance forms to fill in, there's documents, there's people that they need to call, they need to check themselves medically, they need to think clearer. But in order to do that, I keep knocking this camera. In order to do that, they need to have a calm response without emotions. It turns out the Wandering Tarot does speak truth. Let's see, Elizabeth. Let's just quickly show Angie's message because that is very, very true. This is for Poppy Palin. She leaves a profound message. Yeah. I remember being really quite moved by that. Yeah. Elizabeth says, I'm looking at the Justice card in the Skelly deck. And what comes to me is that it's a delicate dance between the two. And as you've said that, Elizabeth, I'm thinking about that crane in the Animal Totem Tarot. It looks like it's dancing. But yes, it is. It's a delicate balance between the two. And it is our responsibility and obligation to try and find that middle ground, isn't it? There was something here that spoke about middle ground. I think it was the Illuminati, that cosmic balancing act being the middle ground. You know what, Ange? What a fabulous observation. I hadn't even looked at that. Look at this. The angry hornets above the two angry men, but the peaceful dove above the lady. Well spotted, girly. Yeah, so everyday enchantment tarot. So responsibility, again, responsibility, that is now coming up. Agreement, that agreement between both sides to get those two sides to agree, not necessarily people, but the two sides, the two options, the two choices. Honest, amends, balance, fairness, reparation, reward, decision. And her key here is weigh it up. And I like that. I like that as well. So what can we go with for this deck? I think let's go for responsibility, agreement, honest. I'm going to put responsibility again because even though it didn't resonate early on, it's all of a sudden making a lot more sense. Responsibility. What was the one that you said, Elizabeth? Just looking back through that. Oh no, it was calm response without emotions, wasn't it? Yeah. Fairness. Decision. Weigh it up. Okay. Well, I think that's quite a few different ones. If we're facing a personal dilemma between two opposing sides, we can consider that both may be required for a well-adjusted life. We can blend the energies. No, we're not temperance. We can, shush, Colleen, we can blend the energies instead of rejecting one or the other. A synthesis that is further explored by the temperance card. Righty-ho. Let's leave it at that. I think we've done all of them. Yes, we have. Okay. So there you go. That's what we've got. So we've got responsibility quite a few times. Twice. But it came up more than once, more than twice. Clarity. Equity, rightness. Action has an impact, positive or negative, yes. Justice. Cause and effect. Cause and effect came in also quite a few times. Making it back to one center. Resolution. What goes around comes around. Yeah, whatever's balanced will come to light. Just looking at similarities. So fairness, truth. Fairness, the truth. Balance, objectivity. Objectivity, that's important. Integrity. Calm response without emotions from the Skelly deck. You got to love it, Elizabeth. That's what my office looked like yesterday when I was getting out all the decks ready for today's live. It also looked, there was stuff everywhere. So I see both sides. Honor, whatever is imbalanced will come to light. Fairness and truth, again, fairness and truth. Consequences of your deeds. That's whole, what comes around goes around. Action has an impact. Eliminating what is not needed. Weighing things up. Maintaining the center. Responsibility and weigh it up. Well, there you go. So hopefully by the end of the exercise, what you end up with is this. Now, I mean, I've had to go through it. I say fairly quickly. I mean, I've spent a little bit longer on the live than I thought I was going to, but it has been fun. But you can spend as long as you need doing this, and you can do it on an A3 piece of paper if you wanted, and you could make these lines a bit shorter so that you had more of these little spurts here, so that you could put more keywords or more phrases. If you don't have tarot decks at home, you could look up meanings online. Just look up meaning of the tarot card Justice and you will get hundreds of different websites. But just make sure that you write where you've got the meaning from, because I think that's important to know which deck it's come from. It kind of honors the deck in a way, but it also helps to see how different authors and how different readers see the card differently. So what do you reckon? Would either of you have an additional keyword? If I put like Elizabeth and Ange here, would you have anything to add to the Justice card? How would you see the Justice card? I always used to just see it as putting things right. Maybe I'll put that over here under Colleen. Putting things right. That's kind of a very general meaning, but right. Either of you have anything that you want to add to the accountability? Absolutely. So let's put Ange over here. And accountability. And then let's put Elizabeth here. Okay, so I'm going to write this. So justice. Not as easy to achieve for us humans. But for spirit, anything is possible. Here we go. So you're both on my little mind map, my year card. Super duper. Well, thank you very much for that. I had great fun. It's always nice at doing these things when you've got people to join in. Do you think that you will give it a try with your own cards? I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you, you little owl. Oh, fabulous. Excellent. Will you post a picture of it on Instagram, Elizabeth? I'm intrigued. Remind me what you'll send a photo. Okay. Okay. Okay, and Angie's going to give it a try. Yeah, fabulous. Fabulous. And remember, you can use it for all sorts of things. You can use it for your goals. You can use it for studying. You can use it for all sorts of things. They are just so great. I'm going to check out your suggestion, Ange, that Miro.com, and have a play there. I'll probably lose a couple of hours of my life there, but that's fine. That's what it's all about, learning new things. Cool. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Maybe there's a free version. Yay, it's free. Okay, so we can give it a try. Maybe I'll replicate this in Miro just as an exercise to see. Fabulous. Righty ho. Okay, well then let's leave it at that. I am hoping to do a series of videos going through my different animal decks. But I'll announce that on the channel soon. Elizabeth and I are talking about doing another live together, but we'll announce that when we're all good to go. And I think that's about it for now. Did you guys have any questions or? Okay, so you do have to create an account, but it is free. Okay, so that's good. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a fun exercise. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. I've missed doing lives, and I've missed the tarot cards. But we'll talk about that offline. Eh? Super duper. Thank you both very much for joining. I know there are other people in the live, so thank you all for joining as well. And I guess I will see you in the next live or see you online. So enjoy the rest of your day. I know that for both of you, it is midday-ish, 6 p.m. here. So I'm going to nip downstairs and have some dinner. And I will catch you all online at some point. So take care and bye.